Really strong teams here. Once again, pretty standard stuff like we've seen a lot of in the past, but I don't know, we'll have to see. Both teams, they have really strong pushing bot lanes. So the Lulu is the pushing support, but Graves is the pushing AD. So they both have a lot of wave clearing potential. And already off the bat, MVP moving up for an aggressive invade, coming up for the tri-bush. And a lot of times, that's actually a bush that some teams have a tendency to check early on, but they're a little bit slow to get to. And it's actually a great opportunity for kills a lot of time. Or just a strong invade path into the red.
And what you see MVP doing right now, too, is that there is a small blind spot actually on that corner. Udyr actually did poke out a little bit too far, though. So if someone was there, the cover was actually blown. But they're going to actually just check the bush, throw down a ward right on the front of the ramp just to see if there's any possibilities. They'd actually be there to try and get the jump on, see if LGIM is actually doing a lane swap of some kind. They may actually have everyone... And they are indeed actually having everyone move on down to South Jungle.
Yeah, they really want to force a fight, which is interesting. Their level 1 is strong, but it's not the greatest thing ever. They have some pick-off potential with Udyr. He hasn't leveled anything yet, but it's really the poke from Orianna, Ezreal, and Jace that's the strength of their team. Right. But that acceleration gate, he went with the acceleration gate as opposed to the Q first, and that could help them out a little bit. But really quick, early wards, and that's interesting. I mean, it goes to show they're kind of scared of Lee Sin here. They expect some really aggressive jungling, because that's really the only reason you drop those aggressive early wards is if you have that fear from the jungler.
But the thing is, though, that if you look at Lulu's initial purchase, she's going to need some more of those wards coming on up, though, because she's got mana pots and health pots. You're looking for glitter lances. You're looking for harass. You're going to be spamming those abilities a lot later. You're going to actually be pushing up. So you need the wards. You need them plentiful so you can put them in the river. But there is the full push for members of LGIM aggressively going on in for the blue, and MVP, they're not as prepared for it as they would like to be. Yeah,
they can't defend 4v3, and Olaf's taking their blue, so they're in a great situation to take both blues. That early control could really skyrocket LGIM in this game, and it's slow going because MVP, they're trying to force them out, they're trying to not allow it, and they've stalled actually until Lulu can get back in there. But they know Olaf has the blue, they can stall as long as they want. Lee Sin dives in, but he has to get out of there. This could be anyone's game right now.
Ignite going down onto Udyr, and he's already on fire in a Phoenix stance too, so that's double flames keeping him ignited. But there goes the acceleration gate just in case.
Pulling ahead because of this, though.
Yes, he is, and the blue buff is now actually reset twice. So now, there's another opportunity for everybody to actually come up and grab it. But there is Udyr being shielded by the Lulu, but will not be enough. That is the first blood for the Graves. He also got, and he is still getting some damage down onto Orianna as re-entering late, but Lulu actually going down to the Lee Sin behind the tier 2 in top lane. And now Ezreal coming on up. He wants to make a difference here because he sees Olaf now looking to 1v2 there in the bot lane, and they're going to have none of it.
Yeah, I think he partially just wanted to see if he could get any kills, but yeah, they are going for that swap, as you said. And the issue with the swap lasting so long, it's great for Olaf. Olaf's level 3 because he was able to get the blue. He was able to recall and get back in time.
Yes.
But Ezreal, he's level 3 as well because he's been left alone for such a long time. Not that far of a disadvantage, though, because it's level 3 and a level 1 versus 2 level 2s. But it's still a nice little boon for Ezreal. So we'll see if he can kind of abuse that lane. But I will say, though, Jace is in a really dangerous situation because it's against a blue Olaf, and it's a 3 versus a 1. So that's brutal. He's
4 versus a 1.
He's going to 4 versus a 1. He's going to hit level 2 off of this minion wave, but it's a really tough situation. Olaf can just completely, try and zone him and bully him around in this lane.
And blue on Olaf is dangerous for 2 reasons. One, you have the axes, which you can spam repeatedly because you have the mana. And then remember, blue buff also gives you 20% CDR, which on his Reckless Swing, that is true damage there. That's going to hurt immensely if ever given the opportunity.
Yeah, and a lot of times, now it's a little bit more common to get the undertow, but a lot of times in the past, Olaf in those bruiser lanes, you would actually max the Reckless Swing first. He's at 2 and 2 right now, so his damage is as high as it gets right now.
One Reckless Swing took out a third of Jace's health. That is ridiculous at this early on.
The true damage is insane, and that's why Olaf at one point was like the best counter to bruisers, because you could just max Reckless Swing, and whenever they come in for minions, you just knock them away. But Jace does have the range where he should be okay, but it still is brutal. It's a really tough lane. So I think Holmes is going to be okay. And again, I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'll just go with it. He should be okay in this lane. with just, you know, farming from a distance, but Olaf is going to pull ahead in farm at the very least. Even if Olaf can't get kills, he's going to pull ahead in farm and be a real beast in the mid game.
And even right now, just to give you a nice little metric, Olaf is actually doubled up on Jace right now, so we'll see if that lead actually ends up extending. You got Mima there in the mid, taking a little bit of harass from the Lee, but drinking those potions should be just fine. And yeah, Lilac's going to be 6, possibly before even Home actually ever hits. Okay, you know what? Never mind. My math is not as strong. But Olaf, the moment he hits 6, though, once he has that extra resist, he could theoretically just dive straight on into Jace.
Yeah, it'd be tough. He has to worry about the Udyr ganks.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't want to die for kills, but with Lee Sin, that is a possibility that they have to keep in mind. But, you know, he's in a great situation, and Jace naturally has to push. So Olaf, Lilac, he can sit back for a second, allow Jace to push away from the turret, and then zone him. And that's going to be the really dangerous part. And now Mima being forced out. The Flash Ross, it actually hits. They might be able to get a kill from here. The Flash from Mima, and actually Lee Sin's able to follow, but not quite able to get the kill. But still, Mid King in a nice, advantageous situation.
But I mean, you may see Mid King there doing pretty well, but also look at Orianna, though. Because of all these engagements, because of this involvement with Lee Sin, there's been a lot of use of the orb to try and get some harass and try and protect, and as a result, Orianna is now out of mana and going to have to be forced to back pretty soon. And, you know, recognizing that opportunity, Mid King actually goes back, hedges the curb, and grabs a chalice for himself before Orianna ever has a chance to back.
Yeah, and you see actually so far, Jace is actually caught up in this lane to a decent degree. I mean, he's still behind in CS.
Yeah.
But he's not, you know, losing that much health. Olaf's not able to harass him that effectively. And the ward coverage, you know, he's starting to be kind of safe in that lane. Top lane, no advantages there really. Graves, even though he was behind Ezreal, and Ezreal had free farm time, Graves is even, and that actually means that Graves is kind of ahead when they've been laning, because Ezreal came into lane with a 10 CS advantage over Graves. But you know, that's kind of an interesting thing. And Nivea actually coming over, warding that blue. So it's such a late blue. It's not going to spawn until like about 8:30 because of how long that fight happened over it. But once it spawns, they can force that out, and they have their 2 people top. So it's going to be, you know, an all-out brawl for that blue.
Yep. And Graves, with that income, actually bought a BF sword on his first back. But look at Ezreal, though. This is interesting. 2 Dorans, mana and health pot, and Tabby.
Yeah.
Tabby is an interesting one, because this is not the first time we've seen it on Ezreal, but it's actually starting to pop up a little bit more.
Yeah, we have seen it on Ezreal before, and really it's just to win the lane. And Ezreal, the best thing with Ezreal is the harass with the slow on the W. You get free harass, and so Ezreal wins almost every harass exchange. But Tabby, you win harder, basically. So Ezreal can just walk up, W, and then get the harass. And Nivea trying to pick up the kill. If he can get this on Mima, that would be insane. He walls him off as well. He gets the Ignite. One more hit will actually maybe be able to do it, but he just barely gets out of there. Lee Sin coming in as well, and Mid King backs off without losing that egg. Not quite able to grab it. He is going to get egg. The Ezreal hits him.
Wow.
So he does go down, but still able to put a lot of pressure on the Mima in that mid lane.
I think there was also a little bit of a misplay, because I heard the Orianna ult go off, but I don't think it actually went off where Mima wanted it to. I don't recall seeing Anivia actually pop back up. So I think that was actually a little bit of a missed time too. Could have actually changed that fight a little bit more towards NV's favor. But it's, you know, this is fine. You secured your blue, no serious deaths, and actually you got Anivia to waste the egg. So it's still a net game.
Oh, Lilac's gonna dive it though. He pops his ultimate. He pops the ghost. He gets the kill very quickly. One reckless swing. The
and blue is back.
And they're going to lose this mid as a result if they decide to take it. Olaf's actually not attacking it, so he wants to get back, and he wants to get back in that bot lane. He doesn't want to allow Jace to do too much damage, but Lee Sin's still going to get it low enough where the next fight could potentially take this.
But I'm sure Jace right down there bot lane, he's like, okay, now finally the blue is off Olaf. I can finally breathe for a little while. He's going to come back. He's like, ah, crap. You got it back again. Damn, that sucks.
Guys.
Help me out.
Yeah, I mean, but Jace is pretty safe usually, so it shouldn't be that much of a concern. But you know, the early advantages are huge for Olaf, and he goes for the cooldown reduction along with all that HP, and the HP will allow him to be more aggressive and dive, and you know, get all sorts of kills. And that cooldown build is incredibly strong. It's, you know, such a common build on Olaf because he's naturally tanky and naturally has a lot of base damage. And so going with the gold per 10 items just allows him to get all the utility he needs. A fast Shirelias on Olaf in particular is just devastating for that that mini ghost basically. But we'll see what Lilac can do. He does drop a ward in the tri-bush here, and he's actually going to get into home. What is he doing? He's out of position. He gets the knockback, so he is going to be safe, but still a dangerous spot for him.
I think he was just not paying attention to that at that moment, because sometimes he was like, I'm just going to click in the brush, I'm going to see what's going on in other lanes. Ah, crap, there's no Olaf. I'm in a little bit of danger, but it does get the hammer swing, does push him back just for a little while, and a speed buff from the hammer switch should be helping out immensely. But that GP10 on Olaf, though, is going to help snowball him even further. One of the best items you can get when you're winning a lane so hard is a GP10, because your income just skyrockets. But also, speaking of cooldown, you also got Jace with the cooldown boots. Wants to be firing off those Qs a little bit more often than usual.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it's going to help with the poke. They already have kind of a short-range poke team, but I don't know, that's going to be interesting how it works in fights. Imp gets some really nice damage on the Sona, but doesn't actually decide to go in for it. If they can get Ezreal to commit, then the Sona ultimate and Lee Sin follow-up should be able to pick up that kill. But
Ezreal's ult's up, too.
They're baiting a little bit too hard, and this is actually a great situation when you feel that someone's baiting, and I think Ezreal knows that they're baiting, because he's like, why is Sona being so aggressive at such a low health? Because they must be baiting. They're actually getting free damage as a result, because Sona just keeps taking too much.
But hey, if you're going to be baiting, we got to have someone like Udyr to come on and help. Ignite's going down on Lulu. They want to still try and get that kill, but I don't think they're going to get it. You got Lee Sin flashing away to shield on over to the Graves, but the Sona will go down. That is the sacrifice. That is the price you pay. They almost got Lulu. They almost got it, but unfortunately that is not the case.
Yeah, they really picked up on that well. So they just read it. They were like, okay, so why would Sona at low HP be trying to poke in at Ezreal? Because she's trying to bait me into the ultimate. So Imp, you know, with a really nice job there, takes advantage of the situation, gets off free harass, and they're able to pick up the kill once Udyr comes in the lane. So that's, you know, big, but still a 2K advantage for Incredible Miracle. They're taking advantages bot with Olaf, but Graves still, you know, even though that was a kill for Ezreal, Graves is just even with them and gets the Bloodthirster. So for a little bit, he's actually going to be at a nice advantage in that lane.
Yep.
If they have the slow harass, that's the benefit of the Bloodthirster. Ezreal's a little bit stronger in 1v1s.
Jace firing off that Q was a little bit off the mark. He didn't see it explode in the bush. He's like, oh, well, it didn't explode. I guess Olaf's not really here, when in reality just zoomed right past his head, waiting in the bush, and there goes. There's the missed ultimate from Orianna. Will not be keeping the Anivia back. Unfortunate for MVP there on both bot and mid.
Yeah, just trying to get the fast engage by doing the flash ult and was just barely out of range. Really could have held on for the command attack just to get the Q into the ult. But Lee Sin, while Olaf is putting on that pressure, and they know that Jace is back, or at least dead, Lilac's putting the pressure on bot, and Lee Sin's able to get the dragon. So continuing the gold lead, 3K gold lead turns into a 4K once this dragon is done, if Lee Sin can kill it fast enough. And that'll be a really nice advantage for them. Yeah,
Lee Sin's got the wriggles. He's fine. He can do it on his own. But Anivia's going to help out regardless. I threw down the one Frost Freeze. I'm helping. But one thing I'm noticing here too on MVP is that they're seeming to get a little bit anxious here. You see Jace face checking things and being a little bit more aggressive than he usually should be. You got Orianna trying to get land ults, being a little bit too hasty and missing. And then you also got Ezreal and Lulu actually pushing out a little bit too far in realizing that they're being baited. And I can't help but imagine that later on, possibly in the next few minutes, where that kind of anxiety, kind of like wanting to engage, wanting to start something, is going to fall back and just bite him in the ass.
Oh, but Lilac waiting for Jace once again, pops the ghost this time, and he's in an easy situation to pick this up. He has the ward as well to keep that coverage. He misses like 3 undertows, but it doesn't matter. He still has them in his grasp. The knockback, he's close to getting out of there, but there's the last undertow. One more is going to pick this up. If he can get, oh, he didn't pick up his axe. He didn't pick up his axe. Holmes is really close to getting out of this. Oh, just barely goes down.
And the hammer helps him out, only helping him take 1 tower shot on that. Damn.
Yeah, and not only that, Anivia came up into the top lane and was able to pick up a kill onto Ezreal. If she hits the Flash Frost, Lulu's going to go down as well. There's another kill.
Wow.
So Incredible Miracle snowballing. And I was actually about to say, I was at a point where I was like, okay, so now one downside to Graves going with such a fast Bloodthirster is how weak he's going to be in fights, not for damage, but survivability, because instead of going for those double Dorans, he's going to be a little bit easier to burst down, and MVP has a great team to take advantage of that. They have the poke, they have the engage on Graves. But when they're this far ahead, when they're at a 6K gold advantage, it doesn't really matter that Graves, goes with that build, because the rest of his team is strong enough that they can win 4v5 almost. So any pressure onto Graves is, it's still a one fight for them. And Lee Sin using that Oracles to just continue that map control.
Yep. When you're this early on, when you're like pre-20-minute mark, and there's about a 5K gap between the two teams, yeah, that's the kind of lead we're talking about here. And it's hard. It's hard to come back from a disadvantaged position like this so early on. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. But when you have the switch ups of the lanes, actually, you got the Curve expecting the lane swap. MVP actually sends their AD support back down bot, expecting to push it, and they are indeed correct. But now, did Olaf actually just get past the red? I think he may
yes,
have.
I believe he did.
No, Lee
Sin
got
has it. Yeah. So they hold on to that, but swapping lanes, Olaf's able to get up there, and they're going for the blue once again. So getting the timers on that is pretty important. I don't know if it's going to be up though, so we'll see what they do. But they're looking for fights right now. They're looking to just continue their advantage.
And even then, you got Anivia with you. If they do happen to find anyone, hey, there's a wall. By the way, you're trapped. Good luck getting out.
Yeah, and Olaf just continually looking for Jace. I mean, that's all he needs to do is find Jace, and he's going to get a kill.
There you go.
Walking right into him, though.
You found a Nadir in the jungle. The Frost does get the stun, waiting for more damage. There is the ult coming on in. There is the flash, does get the kick backwards onto Nadir. Flash in pursuit. Anivia wants this kill, does have the sufficient amount of damage. And the wall is up. There's Orianna. The ult finally lands this time, but it's a little too late. Jace is just there for moral support. He's not tacking on the damage. And meanwhile, you got Sona and Graves pushing on in still.
Yeah, they're able to take that up. They might be able to grab this turret as well. Jace trying to get the poke onto Lee Sin, but he backs out of there. But Olaf has enough control where they can control that. They are going for this bot tower, but Imp actually throws off his ultimate to try and slow them down. One more attack from Paragon. All right, one more attack now. And they'll be able to grab that. But there's the Sona ultimate. The quick burst, Small Brain's going to die, but the Lulu ultimate just barely survives. And Imp actually chasing down Sona will pick up that kill. But I think Graves is going to be able to turn it around. He's at the very least going to be able to win this fight.
He's got plenty of health. He's got plenty of damage. And now you got Olaf doing what he does. Axe gonna be more than enough, and Graves finally picking up the kill onto Ezreal. Now you got all of LGIM here down in the bot lane, looking to continue the push. Udyr is back, full health, running back and forth, just waiting for the minions. And he is playing still a little bit risky. He knows they're still there. He knows that's where he saw them last, and yet he's still going in for run if they really wanted to. Olaf could just come on in undertow. Graves was still there. That could have actually been another kill onto Udyr, but LGIM, they're so comfortable in their position right now. They're nearly 10K ahead. It's looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, no, it's a brutal lead. I mean, it's a little bit early in the game still, so they're going to struggle taking objectives, but they're going to be able to slowly take that. And also the Shirelli done onto Olaf is going to allow him to chase down Jace even more, or just force a fight for his team. The concern for them is really just protecting Graves, not allowing the quick burst damage from MVP, because if Jace hits a shot onto Graves, it's going to take him down about a third of his life. Like, it's going to be really a lot of damage, though he only has Phage, so that's kind of one weakness of that build. So Jace being so far behind because of Olaf doesn't have anywhere near as much damage if he had the Brutalizer or Bloodthirster.
How much in gold does it actually translate out to?
He's only at 3,500.
He's doubled. Olaf has doubled him. Period. Olaf has doubled Jace's gold.
Yeah, and that actually really puts them in a dangerous spot because they need that Jace poke. Like, Jace, if he had enough poke, which is why a lot of people are going with the Brutalizer first, is because it gives you enough regardless of what you get or how well you do, then they'd be able to really wreck Graves in particular and try and poke them down before a fight happens. But as it stands, they really don't have that strength, and Olaf is one of the strongest 1v1ers in the game at Baron. He used to be able to solo Baron very easily. With the shield from Lee Sin, there you can easily duo that. So there's a serious threat for MVP right now. That incredible miracle to just take that Baron.
Orianna looking to back, but changing the mind quickly when you see all of IM here looking to take your stuff. MVP, they do have one thing going, that they do have the split push going on bot, so at least Ezreal and Lulu would be able to take that tower. But Dandy getting caught out, the stun followed up by the wall, free damage, already down to nearly half. And there's one turret, so MVP can hang their hat on that, but now, for the time being though, you have a 2-on-3 going on. Then you got small skirmishes like this one. You got the Ignite going. Come on in, throw down Ignite on Nivea, and then immediately leave. And by the way, Orianna is looking to 1v3.
Oh, if Nivea can get that wall, it is up, but just barely not able to get it onto Udyr. But we'll push in and try and take this. Ezreal and Lulu, they're still pushing bot, but they know they're too far behind to
all
fight.
of your stuff back home, guys. This is the time. This is not the time to be trying to take a tier 2. Your inhibitor may be in dire straits very soon.
Yeah, and I think they recognize they can't fight right now, so they're just trying to push and take whatever they can because they know that IM is just in a position to bully them around. The stun goes off. Jace is barely able to get out of there. The top turret is down. Mid King still trying to get the mid one. He's not going to be able to finish it up before he has to back off. But the next one fight for IM is definitely going to result in an inhibitor as a result. They, if they can win. And so LG, they're going to move over, pick up this dragon, and MVP. It's dangerous. They can poke, but they really, right now, in order to stall, they need Jace to drastically increase his damage.
11K lead now for LGIM. It extends even further, and that's it. There's wards going down in front of the Baron on the Baron River at least. Nothing quite on the pit. And you see MVP, they are still a little bit skittish. It was like, well, do I want to ward here? I'm not quite sure. And you can't ward on top of the Baron anymore. They changed that. They took that out a while ago. He will push it back. You can't do that anymore.
Oh, when that happened, that was so annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to do all sorts of cool tricks in order to kill the wards, and they kept on changing how the interaction, so you had to learn the new trick for how to kill the ward. But yeah, so that's out of the game.
But just seeing that alone makes me wonder, like, how about like MVP and their training regimens. Like that's something that you don't.
He knows that the ward doesn't. I mean, that's a year ago almost. That's eight months ago they changed that. Like, there's no, let's not comment on their training regimen and say that they haven't trained in 8 months.
It's something. It has to be worth saying something about, because that is a little bit of an odd placement to be right there, right behind the Baron.
I mean, still, you put it in the back of the pit, it obscures it from vision slightly. So you have to go into the pit in order to see it. I mean, it's not a bad place for a ward, but they will be pushing up. IM's in a great situation. Graves, he's a little bit too short range, so 525 range, it makes it difficult for him to poke the turrets, but it won't matter if Lee Sin can force a fight. And Nivea here as well tries to get the flash rush, can't quite grab in, but the burst damage is enough, and it forces Ezreal into a dangerous spot. Lilac moving up as well, and they have the team zone, so they can push into this mid. That inhibitor, it's low enough that Lee Sin, he can just shield onto Olaf. They can take that and take the turret and get the inhibitor.
Reckless swing down onto Udyr as he's retreating back, just wants to get to the safety of home. But that is it. There's the push going into the Baron pit. LGIM, they should be able to just take this with really no issue whatsoever. They can just sit there and wait. Just wait for the ambush to come on in. MVP, they're bound to be curious at some point. There's the Orianna orb, trying to get some vision. There's the shot. They're already going to go around. They're going to try for a flank. This is very bad. Jay's going to be melting immediately. Orianna ult actually going on to Orianna, I think, once again. I don't think we actually saw anyone get caught up in it. There's a double kill there for LG, and MVP is just being clean swept right here. There's really no hope, I think, at this point, because right after LGIM, they're going to be grabbing the Baron. They're going to be pushing on into the base.
There's no need to grab the Baron. They have 30 seconds left until most of the team's up. There's the surrender, so they would have been able to get the inhibitor anyway, but nice play by Incredible Miracle, so they do win, and they will go on to face Naj and Sword, so a rematch of that first round game in order to see who gets out of the group stage. But MVP, they are done, so they won't be coming to IPL5, an underdog from the start. But, LG definitely with some nice, really aggressive